check points. Forward facing, he's the antithesis of forward facing.
Yeah,
It's almost backward
absolutely.
masking.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he doesn't sit courtside at games. When he is in town, you don't necessarily always hear about it. And although he did sit courtside at a road game last year, yeah, there's always going to be that mystique around Robert. I think that's kind of just the way things are going to be with him. And I don't think that's necessarily the best approach if he wants to build trust in the city and trust with the fans, because Memphis is Memphis, and Memphis has been burned in the past by pro sports teams. An NFL team that was maybe going to come here that's in Nashville now, and in other instances of just this place kind of feeling, I don't know, defensive and skeptical, and not always so quick to trust outsiders. And he's kind of remained an outsider, and that's just kind of the way I feel like it's going to be with him.
Yeah, and what that does, David, whether he means to or not, that allows many and some that are responsible and probably should know better to fill in a lot of blanks and a lot of speculation about the future of the team and the future of the team here. Look, we're starting year 19. The Grizzlies aren't going anywhere, and not just because of the contractual terms at FedEx Forum. I think from all I've been able to be told through the years, that before him, David Stern, and now Adam Silver, they badly want Memphis and New Orleans to work in Memphis and in New Orleans. They want it to work in the South. One of these days, I hope we've got T-shirts on at FedEx Forum as proud as Toronto was, stating "We the South." So they want it to work. But until it does, and as long as he is so mysterious, unavailable, the speculation, we and many others will fill in the blanks, and it won't be good.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. That's just the way, the bed that he's kind of made. And the good thing though is that now we've kind of turned the corner, and so there's actually something on the court to
That's right.
dissect and talk about, and some hope in that regard. I mean, if the Grizzlies start, turn into this decade or the next decade Oklahoma City Thunder, and have a bunch of talent and start winning 50+ games every year,
I'm for that.
I think some of that will sort of dissipate because the team will be successful. There's a chance that with John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., the Grizzlies could become a bigger national brand than they ever have been. The core four, they were more like folk heroes. They were kind of local heroes. When I talked to, I've lived elsewhere, and when I've talked to people elsewhere about the Grizzlies, they sort of they don't always understand the infatuation with Tony Allen and Zach Randolph, because those guys meant so much here locally, but I don't think the country ever fully understood that, and that's fine, and almost something that I think Grizzlies fans should be proud of, that they had something so unique here. But with Ja and Jaren, it has the potential to be totally different. I think you have the potential with those guys to travel to another NBA market and to see somebody wearing their jersey. I mean, if you hopped on a plane and went to, Kansas City, you would have never seen somebody rocking a Zach Randolph Grizzlies jersey, but who's to say that you won't see somebody wearing a John Morant jersey or a Jaren Jackson Jr. jersey in another city somewhere else here in a few years? I think that's kind of what makes this different. And those guys kind of showed today again that they're marketable, and that this, at an earlier stage than it ever was from Mike and Mark, is their team. And I think that's exciting.
David Cobb, our guest. And David, I agree with you for the 19 and the 20-year-old, for Ja and for Jaren. They get to start newly minted in Memphis from the beginning. And whether it was fair or not, a lot of Tony and a lot of Zach's, good and bad, history had already been written about them in other places. It was hard for them to kind of turn around the Titanic here. Now, Tony didn't have a lot. I mean, he was on a NBA championship team in Boston, but he became such the folk hero here. He could have stayed in Boston the rest of his life and never attained that kind of around town status that he garners in Memphis. And Zach had such a checkered past that so many didn't think it was doable and it was possible, and it happened in Memphis. But for the 19-year-old and the 20-year-old, we get to start out with them. I mean, it's newly fresh minted right here at FedEx Forum on Beale Street.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe Grayson Allen and Josh Jackson will turn some sort of a corner here and and take that mantle from Zach and Tony as the guys who remade themselves and became folk heroes in Memphis. I don't know. That seems like a long shot to me. To me, it's evident, very evident that Ja and Jaren are, like I said, they're a bigger piece of this earlier than Mike and Mark were when they were just starting out. And the third guy that Taylor Jenkins penciled in as a sure starter today was Jonas Valanciunas. I still think there's a lot of love left for people in this city to gain for him.
I agree.
Because the diehards watched after the trade deadline last year and grew to love him. But there's going to be a lot of people who are tuning in for the front end of this season who had already tuned out by the end of last year, who are going to absolutely love the way that Jonas plays. And, he could become somebody that is pretty well loved here, I think.
He sure could become that. The only question, will he be here when it really starts to pay dividends? Will he be part of a playoff run team? He may or may not. But with those three, and just have to get lucky, and I'm not even talking about the Zebo type luck of turning around the Titanic on image-wise, just the James Posey type luck. The Grizzlies are due, David.
Yeah, well, I mean, they finally got some luck there with the lottery, and there's enough guys like that. That's one of my bigger questions still coming out of media day. Is it was just sort of confirmed, I guess, how unsettled the wing positions are. Yeah, you would love for a James Posey to emerge from that group. Just somebody who's a reliable, consistent player who's not going to command the ball on every possession, but who can do everything reasonably well. So, I mean, you've just got so many guys to choose from in that category. I mean, I think that would be one of the biggest. I mean, nobody said this today, but that would have to be one of the biggest blessings of this season is if somebody can emerge from that group and cement themselves as a starter on the wing moving forward. I think the fans probably hope that's Dylan Brooks because we saw a lot from him as a rookie, and now he's kind of starting fresh after some injuries last year. If he can continue to shoot the three ball at a clip of 35, 36% or better, I think he could be that guy.
David was talking about luck. Just no worse luck than the injury he had last year with spraining his ankle, tripping over the basketball. That is all world bad luck for him and for the Grizzlies. But we'll see if he recovers. Who was the winner of media day? Was it Ja? Was everybody captivated by his coming to town?
Yeah, absolutely. It was pretty remarkable just to finally see him in a Grizzlies uniform, and I mean the crowd around him was obviously pretty big. I would say Ja did a nice job in front of his first, huge sort of scrum in Memphis. Of course, he had the announcement the day after the draft and stuff. I thought Zach Kleiman did a nice job. The first couple times that he's done big media avails, you kind of felt like he was maybe a little nervous, but he seemed really cool, calm, collected today. Seemed to really be able to articulate, I guess, where they are and what all they did this off season. So I was impressed with him, and it was a happy feeling to the day. I mean, there's still 3 or 4 weeks before they actually have to try and beat another NBA team, so that's to be expected. But I thought it went well. I didn't think anybody went out and made any bold proclamation that was way off base. There wasn't anybody who was overeager or naive enough to declare this a playoff team. And everybody kind of said the right things. I guess if I had to pick a big winner from the day, I would probably go with Kleiman or Ja, and then of course Jaren, who was last in the media room. He was his normal jovial, happy-go-lucky self, and
he is.
It's kind of nice to be back and to see some of that after he was kind of shut down in February.
And I still think unparalleled superstardom awaits him next Sunday, the first preseason game, 2:00 next Sunday. Any parlor games, any bets on who logs the 5 most minutes played for the Grizzlies next Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, I would bet that. I would bet that probably Dylan Brooks will probably play a lot. I bet you'll see a decent amount of Marko Guduric. Ivan Rabb, and Bruno Caboclo. Some of those middle to bottom half guys on the roster, I think, are going to play a lot. So your Rabb and your Caboclo, and like Solomon Hill, Plumlee. Yeah, I think those guys will get some serious run because I legitimately believe Kleiman when he says they know decisions have been made about who they'll have to cut. Because if they haven't traded Iguodala by August 21st, they will have to make technically 3 cuts, but really it's going to be 2. The one that is sort of implied is Matt Mooney, who's on an Exhibit 10 deal, and he's going to end up with a hustle in all likelihood.
Yeah.
So from there, you would have to cut 2 if Iguodala is still around. And who are those 2 guys going to be? I mean, do you keep the big contract of Solomon Hill around as a trade piece for closer to the deadline, or do you just go ahead and let him go now so you can keep a Rabb or a Caboclo or something? I don't know.
I don't know if I'd eat that much money now. That could be a pretty good piece to try to clear salary later in the year.
Absolutely could.
David, yeah. I'm certainly not the first. I'm probably the 10,000th that said this. The Grizzlies owe Andre Iguodala absolutely zip, nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, they can keep him as long as they want to try and get what they want out of him.
When you got people describing this as some kind of war crime, come on.
Yeah, the national narrative on this is never going to look. It's never going to look nicely on Memphis for the way this is going. But I think they're doing well by kind of just sticking to it and not ceding to the angry pitchfork wielders out there who let's be honest are all people that want to see Andre Iguodala end up on their team.
Exactly.
That's exactly why the narrative is out there. So,
let's send him to Houston.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're not doing anything wrong. If anybody did anything wrong, it was the Golden State Warriors who treated one of their former NBA Finals MVPs like an expendable asset when he had 1 year left on his contract. And I don't even know if that was a good deal. I mean, how does D'Angelo Russell even fit with them? I mean, I know they might have snatched him up as a trade piece or whatever, but I mean,
welcome to pro sports.
Right. So I don't know, man. The Grizzlies have done nothing wrong. In fact, I think it's been great work by the front office with the way they've handled Iguodala, and the deal with him not being around for training camp is probably best for both sides.
David, I know you are eager to write a game story. We will see it at sometime next Sunday night after you write a game story after the first exhibition game between the Grizzlies and Maccabi Haifa next Sunday afternoon at FedEx Forum. And we'll talk to you next Monday about it. Thank you, David.
It's going to be great. Thanks, man.
Thank you. David Cobb with the Commercial Appeal, beat writer for the Memphis Grizzlies, with us every single Monday. I've been telling you about Harry's all year now, and we've been shaving for a long time, over 5,000 years. We've tried it all. The ancient Greeks didn't need flex balls or heated handles, and neither do you. That's why Harry's doesn't add any gimmicky features to their razors. Just the facts. They focus on the qualities that actually matter for a close, comfortable shave, and they never upcharge you. I've been shaving all year with it, and I just love the close shave, the easy glide, and I love that low price. Get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Use code STATS at harrys.com. Harry's is a return to the essential, durable, quality blades at a fair price, just $2 per blade. Now they can provide great quality at factory direct prices. Harry's a brand that you can be proud of. 1% of sales are donated to organizations that provide access to mental health care for men, and there's no risk to you for trying them out. If you don't love your shave, just let them know and you'll get a full refund. Harry's has an amazing offer for listeners of this show. New customers get $5 off a trial set from Harry's with code STATS at harrys.com. That means you get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use code STATS at harrys.com. Go to harrys.com today, use code STATS at checkout to claim your offer. When we come back, we talk college football and the weekend that was and the week that will be with our friend John Thompson, longtime defensive coordinator in these parts. He's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
I love successes in business. 20 years ago, a guy named Matt Eflin decided when he graduated from the University of Memphis, he was going to get into the insurance business. And man, did he ever get into it. Now, he's got several offices around the area, all to protect you. The main one is in Bartlett, 8099 Stage Hills Boulevard. And the reason Matt is so successful, he's very young, but he's been so successful because he has a unique approach. He tries to have a one-on-one evaluation with each individual to check out their insurance needs. And he specializes in all types of insurance, personal insurance, business insurance. Basically, he sits you down and he asks you whether it's a business or whether it's your home, your family, what's the most important thing you want to protect? And then he figures out your options, collaborates with you, and voila, you're protected. 901-757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Did you know Davis Motorhome Mart is one of the top 10 Tiffin dealers in the U.S.? Come tour the 7.5 acres of beautiful travel trailers, motorhomes, fifth wheels, and toy haul or towables half-tons. Motorhomes from 27 feet up to 45 feet from brands like Winnebago, Coachman, Puma, Highland Ridge, and Tiffin. Take advantage of Davis Motorhome Mart's big blowout sale on 2019s and 2020s on their way. Stop by your gateway to travel freedom. Davis Motorhome Mart at 1145 East Brooks Road in Memphis. Call 901-332-3414 and cruise by the website davismotorhomes.com.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring. Five-Ash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
One of our favorite times of the week. Dave's away, but I get him all to myself today. We get to visit with John Thompson, defensive coordinator that we all know and we all love, and we love visiting with him on Mondays and talking the weekend that was and the week that will be in college football. And I think we'll start with Auburn and Mississippi. No, we'll start with the hometown team first. We'll start with the Tigers from way back on Thursday night with Coach John Thompson as he joins us now. Good Monday afternoon to you, Johnny.
How you doing, Brett? What's going on, man? How are you?
Doing great. Let's go back to Thursday night. And I was away on Friday, so I didn't get a lot of the on-air stuff, but I got a read from our friend Drew Barrett, and he told me what the reaction was on Friday. I do not think Brady White deserves a single boo. He, as a starter, he is, what, now 11, 13 and 6? What's the record this year? 4-0? He was 8-6 last year, so 12-6 total. 12-6 as a college starter. I don't think that deserves boos, and you're undefeated ending September, Johnny.
No, I know it, and a really tough team. And you know what's different about Memphis this year is that they're playing so well in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. They turn the thing around. That is an extremely hard team to prepare for, to play against, and you just got to give compliments to the coaches and players. And Memphis is a factor in every single game. I mean, people have short memories in this business, but there's no question. Brady White played well, and really in the second half, and got it together.
At money time.
I mean, Memphis has got a lot of weapons now. They're a good football team.
And I think they've got emerging weapons that we really weren't counting on in all the August proclamations. You know, Johnny, when we're experts, when we know everything about how the season is going to play out, I think they have had players emerge as the year's gone on. And I think for Tiger fans, I wouldn't worry about what the national perception right now is. Keep winning. I wouldn't worry about what's this going to do to Mike Norvell. Just enjoy it.
I agree with you. You know, and there seems to be always something to worry about, but I mean, it's not that many years ago. I mean, when you get to be a little bit older, a little bit longer in the tooth, like I am, you can remember when Memphis would have been so thrilled to be exactly where they are now.
500
I mean,
coming out of September.
Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second week or the week after, coming after an option team like Navy, I mean, they chop you, they cut you, they hit you from behind. It is a hard thing to do. People don't realize it's that next week because you've been a week without playing your normal defense, and now you got to come back and you got Louisiana Monroe coming into, and playing them this week. You got to get your feet back under you and get well and get up because your knees are sore. The players, especially the defense, and that's where I was impressed. I mean, Memphis has a defensive line. They play a lot of people. That big Tate played well.
Yeah.
I mean, and so many guys that
his dad played basketball at ASU.
Defensive line.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Tate's dad played basketball at ASU.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you remember.
We recruited him when I was at, and he was a young guy then. He may have been a 10th or 10th grader. Now that's not young. I talked to a lot of buddies out across the country that when they're on their open dates, and I talked to a couple of guys today, and I mean they're recruiting now, Brett. You're 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders. It used to be,
that's hard.
You go in, you might check on a junior, and you really were on the seniors, but now you're recruiting 4 classes deep. It's
and guess what you get to do when you get home?
That guy on campus early.
Yeah, and then when you get home, guess what you get to do? You got to recruit your own roster now.
Well, I always felt like as a coach, and maybe I am old school. I know I'm old school. Is that was the most important recruiting that you had, or those guys that you had on campus. You got to deal with them. You got to take care of them. You got to be aware of everything that's going on with them. And then now recruiting has expanded so much. I mean, my goodness, you've got 4 classes deep in recruiting, and then you've got your own team. And you would think that you would have, when you would have an open date, maybe you could catch your breath and do one or the other. But now you got guys that are in there early in the morning and they're practicing and getting their team ready. Then they're on the road, So it's been a tough day. I've talked to 3 or 4 of my buddies today that are out here in Atlanta and just having trouble with putting all this recruiting together. It's really different than it was. I mean, even 4 or 5 years ago.
Give me the team that came out of September in the SEC that you would rank number 1 just in the SEC after September play.
Well, you know what? Let me just say this: they're coming off, and there's some really good teams coming out of there. But you look at really the 4 teams that we talk about. That I mean, Memphis. We talked about them being a much better second half team. Ole Miss is growing up. They had that was a tough game, but you know what? You had it's comparable. You had a great friend of mine said you got 9th graders playing against 12th graders.
That's right.
That's what
difference.
happened there. But that was positive for Ole Miss. Arkansas was competitive. Nobody saw that coming. And even Tennessee had a good week because they didn't play and they didn't lose. But before last week, I would have said Auburn. I'm more and more impressed with Auburn week after week after week.
And that's grudgingly for me.
I know it is, and it is for me too. But you got to look at them and how well they have played. Both sides of the football, and Bo Nix is really playing well. But you know what? I mean, you got to give some kudos to coaches all around. I mean, back with the same group, with what Memphis has done and come out there that second half, Mike Norvell and that coaching staff did exceptionally well. Ole Miss, they whiffed against Cal, and they got a big week coming up now, but they got some freshmen that are growing up, but they never laid down.
Sure did.
They played hard. They played hard all
led by John
last
Rice
week.
Plumlee. He played his tail off. He played as hard as you can ask a kid to go out there and play.
Plumlee.
He'd have played defense Saturday. Hey, go in at corner. He would have gone in.
It was encouraging.
It really was. It was inspiring.
You can't have youth and experience at the same time. And you look at all of that. I mean, it's a big week, but they got a lot of freshmen growing up. I got to give compliments. So you really got to give compliments to the players and coaches there at Ole Miss.
I bet John Rice slept
battle.
good Saturday night and into Sunday, and got introduced to the hot and cold tub on Sunday and into today because he took some hits, but he kept getting up. I'm with you on Auburn, and I want to give Gus Malzahn credit, and I want to give Kevin Steele credit, and I like Kevin Steele. He was a tough, when he played old school when he played at Tennessee. You're tough when you stare down Kevin Green and almost get in a sideline fight with him. And I wonder how that goes over at some of the reunions.
You may not be smart. Maybe you got a little wiser.
Of course, we know a couple would have taken on Kevin Green in the day, but they weren't very smart either. But I wonder how that goes over at some of the Auburn functions that Kevin Green comes back to, and he's around Kevin Steele. I bet Kevin Steele doesn't care. He's an old school guy. He's a coach's coach, and he's had a good year. And I had an Alabama guy, and you would know the name. You know him. He told me on Saturday, he said, one thing in favor for Auburn come Iron Bowl time for Bo Nix, especially at Auburn, it won't be anything new about that day and everything going on around Bo Nix.
Right.
Because he's been around it since he could say mama and daddy.
No doubt. That's exactly right. And he hadn't. I mean, Gus uses the phrase "not too big." The moment's not too big for him. But that's how the guy has been, and you've got to be impressed on both sides of the football with that. Auburn's got speed. They got athleticism, especially on defense. Big Brown is playing good. It's just that they've been very impressive. But I mean, before Saturday, but you watch what Alabama did and how they're doing it and how Tua is playing and how those wide receivers, it's not fair. I mean, the speed.
Tell me about it.
It is really.
It looks like a relay team.
Comparable.
And Ruggs got knocked out early. He wasn't much. It wasn't any factor at first. I thought it was an Achilles because it was downfield blocking. It looked like it planted, and then it came back. It was a hip pointer, which is much more manageable. I mean, if you're going to have anything, you'd rather have a hip pointer than an Achilles. But
absolutely.
But that 4 wide receivers, Johnny, I've said, people ask, is the greatest Alabama team ever, greatest Alabama run ever. You can debate all that you want. They have never had 4 receivers like this, and I don't think ever will have again.
No, and as a defensive guy, that causes you so many problems. There's no way that you can cheat to any receiver. I mean, there's no way you can double up one guy and leave another one single. They're just going to it. Tua is so accurate in doing that, but that makes them so good to be able to do that. I mean, and when you got guys spread out all over the field, it's a nightmare for a defensive coordinator.
And Johnny, we talked about Ole Miss improving, and the very first thing I said post game, and the first tweet you saw from interim athletics director Keith Carter post game was, "We don't play. I never enter into sports and competition for moral victories. I play for that left-hand column winning. But sometimes the other side, to pardon the pun, the bear's just a little bit bigger than you are." And it was Saturday in Tuscaloosa for Ole Miss. Same thing happened to the Razorbacks. I thought the Razorbacks Saturday, that was their game of the year. I know they have had 2 in the win column, but that was their game of the year Saturday at Jerry's World.
Well, they really turned things around. I mean, they were competitive. That's all anybody's ever asked. Competitive, play hard. I mean, all across the line of scrimmage, receivers everywhere. They challenged routes. They challenged blocks. The coaches did a great job. They ran unbalanced. They got A&M. Their numbers were not good by that. What I'm saying, they didn't have enough people, on one side of the field. And Arkansas, the coaches did a really, really good job.
They did
in doing that. And Arkansas, I mean, had a chance. I mean, the ball hits O'Grady.
Catch
I mean, it may have been tipped or whatever.
Yeah.
Got a chance down to the last play. I mean, Hicks comes in and really plays well.
And I thought
he did a good
Saturday.
job. Starkel was playing well before.
I thought of you Saturday because we've had a little bit of a debate, a little bit of a disagreement on McTelvin Ajim from Malvern on what kind of player he is.
Sure.
And Saturday we were in the middle of our pregame, but had that game on, and I could see him make a big sack, and I almost made a mental note. I got to bring that up Monday because I thought it was his best game. And for Chad Morris, who will be here tonight at the Memphis Touchdown Club, our friend John David Bedour just texted me, still some seats available for Razorback partisans, Razorback fans, and there are many, many, many in this area to hear Chad Morris. They got room for you at the Touchdown Club tonight. And as John David Bedour said a few weeks ago, and Johnny, you would be impressed by it, no staff, no SEC schools recruiting Memphis harder or better than the Razorbacks are.
Well, their recruiting has been impressive, but they got to win. This was a great step for Arkansas. This was and I challenged last week. I was very critical of them. I mean, everybody was. It's one of the worst losses and one of the worst starts in the history of the Razorbacks. But they came back this week. Now, if they can continue to do that, their body language was good, their effort was good. They had a chance, and A&M's a good football team. They're not a great football team. They're young too. They lost. If people go back and they really look at what A&M lost, they had like 12 guys in the NFL camp last year. Like 9 of them are on rosters, and a lot of them came out early. So I think people may be a little fooled with how good A&M actually is. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Hogs to be able to do that, but they're not a great team. They're okay. But I was really impressed with Ole Miss and how their coaches got their guys playing and the guys playing, and Arkansas the very same way, because it's really hard. I mean, because Ole Miss whiffed versus Cal
Yeah, especially in the third quarter.
They came out of there and had a chance, and the call or whatever happened there. But their team is progressing, and it was really, really surprising in what Arkansas did on Saturday also.
And this is purely selfish. I love when Ole Miss, and I think anybody out there, you should want to play Alabama early. I know Auburn doesn't because that's where that rivalry lands. I know Tennessee doesn't because it lands on the third Saturday in October every year. But next year, Ole Miss plays them about a week later. I love playing them in September if for no other reason, Johnny, it's over with. It's over. You don't have to worry about them.
You don't have to look at it.
Uh-uh.
You can smell that thing coming. Yeah, get it behind you. I think that's a great point. I've never thought about that, but yeah, get it behind you because it is. It's a Volkswagen, against wherever you are.
Against most people.
I mean,
against 120 teams in college football.
Exactly.
It's that daunting.
There may be some other Ferraris out there.
Just a few.
Clemson, but Clemson can stub their toe. It came down to a 2-point play on that.
Yeah. I love the gamble. I like Coach Mack Brown doing that. I did not like the play call, but as I said earlier, that's very easy to say after it doesn't work. One last thing on Saturday, I'm not kidding you. When we got through post game and we broke down the gear and we're headed to the van, I said, guys, run. We don't have to come back here for 2 more years. Run, get that vehicle started. Let's get out of here.
I understand. That's the way people used to think about the Mustang.
That's exactly right, Johnny.
That's exactly how they used to think.
They did, and sometimes you got to break out the bugle and play retreat and get the heck out of Dodge. I want you to do me a favor tonight. Totally inside conversation here, but I'm going to do it over the airwaves. Send me your top 3 guys that we knew in the history of Far City that would take on Kevin Green in a fight.
I gotcha.
Do that for me tonight. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it.
Blake Barnes will be a nomination, but I'm not sure he can make it. How about that?
Blake and Beefy could take him. They'd get him down and take him. There's no doubt about
it. We'll nominate Blake. I'll see. We'll have to evaluate.
You got it. Thank you, Johnny.
I appreciate it, man.
You got it. Talk next Monday.
Take care. All right.
John Thompson talking college football with us every Monday afternoon. The big game in SEC this week, clearly Auburn at Florida. Auburn travels to Florida in an SEC matchup. That's the CBS game on Saturday. Bo Nix, I think he's been better than advertised. State championship, high school player. Mentioned conversation I had with somebody Saturday that come Iron Bowl time that they don't think, especially with it being at home at Auburn, that they don't think the trappings and the histrionics of that week will get to him like it gets to a lot of players because he's just been around it since he cut jaw teeth. I mean, he's been around it his entire life. And Barrett Jones has told us through the years, Barrett can't be with us today. We're going to visit with Cecil Hurt from the Tuscaloosa News. Barrett has said through the years that Iron Bowl week, especially when the game is at the other place, is not crazy around town because there's nobody around town. It's not, you're not going to –
school's out, Thanksgiving weekend, nobody's there.
You're not going to the accounting class, for Barrett. I'm sure it was an upper-level class. You're not going to that class and going, how big we going to win by this week? Because you don't encounter those people that it's really kind of fun just to get locked down in that. For Bo Nix, he has answered all year for the Auburn Tigers. I'm looking forward when Ole Miss goes down to Auburn in a few weeks. It is my 3rd favorite place in SEC to go to a game out of town away from Oxford. Number 1, Georgia in Sanford Stadium. Number 2, Tiger Stadium at LSU. Number 3, Jordan-Hare down on the plains at Auburn. It is a great place to go to a college football game. When we come back, we have the Google Style segment, wrap up hour 2. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Kevin Harlan and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football, sponsored by Dickey's Barbecue Pit. They deliver the Q to you. Head to Dickeys.com or use the app. Kurt in the AFC North, Monday Night Football, 0-3 Cincinnati against the 0-3 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, somebody's got to find a way to get a win. And I really believe when you look at Cincinnati, it's about Andy Dalton, that he's going to have to carry this team. Played really well in the first game against Seattle. Hasn't played nearly as well the last 2 weeks. And on the other side, Mason Rudolph's playing. They got 5 turnovers last week. and still lost the game. They've got to find a way to balance it up and get some help around Mason Rudolph.
All right, join us for the Bengals at the Steelers on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Whether you're feeding a few or the whole crew, Dickey's Barbecue Pit keeps everyone satisfied. Dickey's packs are freshly prepared with plenty of quality meats and wholesome sides. Go big with the tailgate pack featuring 2 pounds each of Texas brisket and pulled pork. Or mix it up with our fall-off-the-bone ribs and our new pit smoked wings in any of our 8 new sauces. Best of all, we can deliver the Q to you, where you want it, when you want it. Visit Dickeys.com or use our app, Legit Texas Barbecue.
As a jet car racer, Elaine Larson has had interesting experiences.
I hit a wall at 280 miles an hour.
While most of us don't race jet cars, we get that life comes with risk. But retirement shouldn't. Elaine purchased an annuity to secure a protected income stream for the rest of her life, so her money won't stop working when she does. Find out more at retireyourrisk.org. Brought to you by the Alliance for Lifetime Income, the sole sponsor of the 2019 Rolling Stones No Filter U.S. Tour.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.08%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 1.25% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Grizz Nation, be the first to guarantee your seats to see the next generation of Grizzlies in the biggest games, the best matchups, and the best giveaways of the season. As all single game tickets are on sale now, starting at just $10. For details, call 901-888-HOOP or shop Grizzlies.com.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Ruddock Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at barksdaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say barks.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brad Norsworthy.
I promised a six-pack of barbecue from the Germantown Commissary or the Collierville Commissary that we would give away, and here's the question. 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line, all on the phone, 360-8255. 1986, the last time SMU ranked in the AP poll. Who was the head coach? Who was the head coach of SMU the last time they were ranked in 1986? For a six-pack of barbecue at the Germantown Commissary or the Collierville Commissary, either place, great Memphis-style barbecue. The ribs, the barbecue, all delicious. Authentic Memphis-style, great food. Walker Taylor's done it at the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Begin your barbecue feast with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales, or the barbecue nachos, then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder, get it chopped on or pulled on a sandwich, a big sandwich. You can get it on a plate. Comes with beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well, even order by the pound or a six-pack like we're giving away, or 8-pack or a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, so good. And this time of year, start thinking about ordering that 36-hour bird. When it gets a little bit cooler, think about that great Brunswick stew in every meal at the commissary, either one, Germantown or Collierville, with the best lemon icebox pie anywhere. Terrific banana pudding as well. 901-754-5540. Online at commissarybarbecue.com in Collierville and Germantown, and great party areas at the new Collierville Commissary. Orders to go, catering, tailgating, and always time for the 36-hour bird at the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Walker Taylor, he does it the right way. Time for our Ghoul Style segment. Ghoul's 12 great locations in the Memphis area. Ghoul's never far away from downtown to out east in Park Place, where the Ghoul's Academy is located, and now one in Olive Branch, one in Overton Square, part of the renaissance of the square. Superior spa services and salon services, a very well-earned reputation built over 87 years of exemplary service. Mr. Sam Gould, he opened a barbershop in 1932, and a powerhouse was born. And it continues today, and it continues with 450 Gould's employees to serve your every need. All the great locations and the great gift card. The gift card is the gift you cannot go wrong with for anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays. Make someone feel special with a Gould's gift card. It makes the perfect gift for that someone special. Follow them on Twitter at Gould Salons or their website, gouldsalons.com. My style goes to Mike Schilt. Criticized softly by me on the air, very hard off the air to some. He is not the Vern Rapp of the 21st century. Vern Rapp never came close to winning anything that mattered. Mike Schilt, he had a great year, and I think he will be rewarded with National League Manager of the Year. If the Cardinals had not won the division, I think that award should have gone to Craig Counsell. The winner of the Central, I think, should get it. Let's go to the phones and see who knows the commissary trivia. We go to Keith. Keith, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing
I believe
well.
it was Bobby Collins.
Bobby Collins, fresh from Southern Miss, and walks into that mess at SMU. He had no idea all that was going on, Keith.
You believe that?
Yeah, I kind of do. From
Okay.
I never knew Bobby Collins, but from everybody that did know him, said he was a pretty straight arrow and kind of walked into a mess. But what a mess it was.
It was a mess.
You're a winner. I'm going to put you on hold. Drew's going to get all the particulars, and you win a six-pack of barbecue at the commissary, either Germantown or Collierville. Thanks for being a good sport, Keith.
All right. Thank you so much.
You got it. We wrap up hour 2 right now. When we come back for hour 3, we started with the columnist for the Tuscaloosa News, and, I mean, he has been on hand to see it just about all, from Bryant to Saban. Cecil Hurd, our guest, coming up next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
One of the things that makes a truly special restaurant special is its selection of bourbons and whiskeys, and 117 Prime is no exception. Try the William LaRue Weller with his high-toned pepper oak tingle at the finish, or the Weller 12-year, or Old Scout, a union of 2 whiskeys distilled from classic bourbon mash bills, and of course, 4 Roses single barrel. Sure, you're going to 117 Prime for a delicious meal, but why not also enjoy a delicious drink as well? As with everything else, if you want perfection downtown, you want 117 Prime.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. It's back. The Carhartt Crazy Sale at Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Visit Frontier this month for huge markdowns on clearance Carhartt items. The latest fall line just launched also, and Frontier is fully stocked. We've got jeans, shirts, bib, overalls, jackets, coats, gloves, belts, boots, and more. And to make room for all the new items, we've discounted a number of short-sleeve plaids and T-shirts. Save up to 50%. All Carhartt jeans are now $5 off. This is the last jean sale of the year, so stock up now for yourself or for someone else for the upcoming holidays. Christmas will be here before you know it, so you might as well save some cash now on what you know you'll need. Also this month, we are including a buy one, get one half-price sale on all novelty T-shirts by Simply Southern, Girly Girl, Live Oak, and more. It's the Carhartt Crazy Sale and more at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
If you're an outdoorsman and love all things hunting and fishing, be sure to listen to Sports 56 Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. for Outdoors Today. Brought to you by the Gun Store, 6920 Winchester in Memphis. Outdoors Today is a 1-hour show hosted by veteran Mark Tobin and a group of respected outdoor-loving guests. Outdoors Today is dedicated to bringing outdoorsmen tips and techniques and tactics to help with your hunting and fishing in all seasons. Saturday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brett Norsworthy.
Dave out today. He'll be back tomorrow. He is observing Rosh Hashanah. He'll be back in with us tomorrow. This hour brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales, where they specialize in late model cars with low mileage, and they have the very high standards in the car industry. At DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, all the cars checked out head to toe, bumper to bumper, all test driven, all good to go. Unlimited inventory. If by chance they don't have it, they'll go out and find it for you. Every make, every model seemingly on that lot at DeSoto Auto Sales. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees. Laid back atmosphere, no high pressure sales, but they do make you this guarantee. The ultimate car experience guarantee, because they know we're living in a world today that time matters. You walk in, you meet with your sales rep, You find the car you want, test drive it, credit approved, paperwork done, and you're out in about 45 minutes. 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Check out the referrals at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road. Very, very, very pleased to have as our next guest Cecil Hurt from the Tuscaloosa News. He has covered all things Alabama since the early 80s, from Bryant to Saban, and all coaches in between, on Twitter at Cecil Hurt. It was great seeing him on Saturday, someone that I have just an extraordinary amount of respect for and appreciation of. Cecil Hurt joins us now. Cecil, on Saturday, it was the Tua and Devontae Smith show, was it not?
It was. Tua's a show every weekend, but this weekend, Devontae kind of grabbed the headline.
And he grabbed them for sure at first half, second quarter, really. His Ole Miss, I thought, played hard and played about as well as they can against that big a competition. I have said, you tell me as the Bama historian and chronicler, all things Crimson Tide, I don't even think it's a debate anymore about best quarterback ever at Bama. It's Tua, isn't it?
Well, it's hard to compare. I mean, you start going back 50 years to Joe Namath, and the game has changed so much. But certainly he'll have almost all the statistical records, and will have done it in 2.5 years of being the starter, or at least playing enough. He really wasn't the starter, obviously, in the national championship year. So 2 years, he'll have all the records because college football's changed so much. But he's certainly in any conversation, even if you include Joe Namath and Kenny Stabler.
College football has changed, and maybe the exact trend line of that change will be the trend line from the hiring of Nick Saban at Alabama to now. Do you think we know he's adapted to it. Do you think he enjoys the adaptation to this modern football? Do you think Nick Saban likes this kind of football?
I don't know that he sits down and makes a judgment necessarily. He certainly came up in a different style, in a different way, different coaches, Don James type football. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he certainly adapts. That's what allows him to be the winningest percentage coach and the dean of college coaches. Is that rather than complaining about the game changing, he goes out and adapts himself.
And it's also one
constantly thinking about it.
Yeah. And it's one very fair comparison between Coach Bear Bryant and Coach Nick Saban. Is Coach Bear Bryant had to make a lot of changes. The biggest was from segregated football to real integration, and it came pretty fast for him. I won't say he was at the forefront of it, but he was really big in bringing it to the Deep South. And then on the field to the wishbone in the 70s that a lot of people went to. But for Coach Saban, from kind of defense-oriented to now, you got to score a lot of points to win.
Right. I wouldn't say Coach Bryant was the first or the founder of integrated football, fully integrated in the SEC, but he was the one, even then, that everybody looked to. Mm-hmm. And once he chose to have black players and bring them in and embrace them and open the roster, that's who everybody was looking at. He was the biggest coach nationally, and certainly in the South. And so once, put it in the vernacular, once Bear did it, it was okay for everybody to do it.
Yeah, once he did it, everybody seemed to do it. Just like running the wishbone. Once he did it, everybody kind of went to it. For Nick Saban on Saturday late in the not even late in the game, Cecil, but during the course of the game, I didn't think he was as animated, as charged at his guys as maybe normally. And you tell me, this is total speculation on my part. I have it's just totally a guess. You tell me if either one of these might be the reason why. I thought at some point during the game, just watching his sideline decorum, he thought, okay, the problems we have, air quote there on problems, the Bama problems aren't many, but the problems that team may have, I think he either thinks they're A, easily fixable, or B, they can't be fixed unless you do it with personnel. You think either's the case?
Well, I think it's it depends on which issue you're talking about. I think the primary reason that he's not, for want of a better term, ranting about a lot of things is he's got freshmen out there. Mm-hmm. He understands that. There are things, if you're a parent, there are things that you get mad at your teenager about that you're not going to get mad at your 5-year-old about. He draws with crayons on the wall. You don't want your 14-year-old doing that.
Exactly.
Your 5-year-old's kind of going to do it, and he's got to grow out of it. And you teach him, and you move forward. And that's the situation he's in, particularly defensively. So it doesn't do any good. You treat different teams just like you treat different kids differently. And that's the situation I think he's in. He doesn't do you any good to when you're talking about freshmen who played 5 games. It doesn't do any good to yell and scream at your 5-year-olds. If they were 14, then they continue to do the wrong things, then you get frustrated.
Yeah, and I did think on predictable short yardage rundowns, and it's kind of been the case all year. They're without Mark Ingram or Derrick Henry, but even a Bo Scarborough or even a Harris from last year or a Jacobs from last year. I don't know if they had a 3rd and 2 that they had to make running over right or left tackle that right now they can convert that. And again, the Bama problems most everybody else would love to have.
Well, whether they could, whether Brian Robinson, they in the last 2 games, last 3 games really, because Najee ran the ball well against South Carolina. Then he had a 100-yard game against Southern Miss. So it's gotten a little bit better. It's just not what they rely on. Why build your offense around being able to line up in 2 tights and have a 240-pound tailback, blast up in there on 3rd and 2 when Tua can just throw for it. When Tua is 80% accurate, and how are you going to cover all those guys and stop them from getting 2 yards?
And Tua's got every pass. He throws the one-step crossing pattern so well. He throws the deep ball so well. He can roll out to right or left so well. There is not a discernible weakness in the passing game.
No, he can do any of it. And obviously, if you in the situation you describe in 3rd and 2, you want to jam up on him and try and stop Ruggs or Judy or even Najee, for that matter, just go past you and Tua will throw it over the top, and then you can give it up to 3 yards in the first down. You give it up a touchdown. That's just Najee scoring on 4th and 2 at South Carolina on that little swing pass. Well, you bunch up in there and try and stop it, and they get it out in space, and then what are you going to do with the playmakers that they have?
Cecil Hurt, our guest, the columnist for the Tuscaloosa News. You can follow him on Twitter at Cecil Hurt. Open date for Bama this week. Then 2 Texas A&M announced today that will be the CBS game for Saturday, October 12th, and then the 3rd Saturday in October against Tennessee at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Arkansas to close out October at home in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Then the 2nd open date, and then Ed Orgeron at LSU comes to town November 9th. If you want to see him animated, if you want to see him ballistic, I guarantee you a question would be, Coach, let's look ahead to LSU. I don't think he would go for that, would he, Cecil?
No, he wouldn't. This week would be, Coach, you moved up to number 1 in the poll. Just take a shot at that one.
Yeah.
And see what kind of response you get.
Better have catcher's equipment on. He's not going to like it. Did they rightfully
Depending
move up?
on what mood he's in. in.
That's right. And
Depending on
and Cecil, you
depending
know
on
him
how
well.
things are
Can
going
can
for
you gauge if today's the day to ask this, or this is a day to maybe ask it another day? Can you tell kind of at first comportment around him?
Sometimes I can. Mostly it's common sense. So, yeah, it's there are days when that's not the route that you want to go. So,
Cecil, I got to tell you a funny story. I tweeted Saturday about it. And look, we all had to learn at some point. We all had to, I wasn't born knowing what I know, and neither was anybody else. Y'all have to learn. But a nice young man, I'm not going to give his affiliation, but a nice young man asked me, he saw the name placard in the press box for Hootie Ingram, the former Alabama athletics director and football star, and one time head coach of the Clemson Tigers in the early 70s. But look, and he asked me, and he was serious as he could be. He came over to me and goes, "Hey, do you know if that Ingram is any kin to Mark Ingram?" I said, "No, I can categorically tell you he is not." He didn't know.
Only the Brotherhood of Alabama football.
That is it, and it is a strong one. Cecil heard our guest talking Bama. So Jimbo Fisher's team, they weren't that sharp against Arkansas. They did win. They have an open date as well before the Alabama game. I know there will be a lot of talk about mentor against a mentee, and I'm sure Coach Saban's tired of that and hearing that record against former assistants.
He is, but again, he's been through it, and he knows that it's going to be a topic. It'll be a topic when he plays. A little bit of time. It's not as much anymore. He's already played Will Muschamp, who was a longtime assistant. Playing Jimbo this week, or after the open week, next game. Playing Jeremy the week after that. So he knows it'll come up.
It
hadn't been asked as much. Certainly wasn't asked as much about the South Carolina game this year as it used to be.
And Kirby and the Georgia Bulldogs await someone from the SEC West potentially come SEC championship game. It's really top heavy in the SEC. I know the ones that aren't part of that heaviness at the top. It's really aggravating. It feels like, hey, what about us too? But at the top, the SEC appears to be just as good as ever. Cecil.
It is. You could argue that it would be an argument, and I don't know it's entirely true. Ohio State and Oklahoma are good, and Clemson, although they certainly hadn't hit on all cylinders yet, but you could argue that the best four teams are four SEC teams. Now that doesn't mean that all four playoff teams are going to be SEC teams. It's not going to work that way. But you can make an argument that Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and Georgia are the four best teams.
Yeah, you sure could. I know Heather Dinich is really catching it from saying it late night, overnight on ESPN radio over the weekend. But look, if somebody asks you a question, if that's what you really believe, and it's still, a lot of football to play, just 1 month in the books. But right now, you got four good teams from the SEC. I asked earlier, kind of in the, just in the broad, if Alabama had a 1-point win on the road against someone comparable to North Carolina, and Drew and I came up with maybe the South Carolina game, and if they did that, they would drop out of the top spot.
They would. So, and again, it's September the 30th. It's not, it's certainly nice for fans, and it's certainly a very important historical footnote that they've been number one for 12 years in a row at some point. But it doesn't cash in anything. They were number one this week last year, and they ended up with Clemson. So they would certainly trade and be number two all year. I think that Nick Saban would have wanted to be number two all year, frankly.
Cecil, enjoy your open date and the trip to College Station and the moving press box when the A&M throng gets it going. And it was great seeing you on Saturday, and be safe the rest of the year. And I hope we can catch up again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Cecil Hurt with the Tuscaloosa News. columnist down there since 1982, and truly a wealth of information about all things in the great history of Alabama football. And he's been there to document so much of it. And when he speaks, it is a voice of reason. You can tell. I mean, the highs are never too high with him. The lows are never too low. And it just the games come and the games go. And he's able to have a good handle on all those things. And it is fun to catch up with it. He was brought to you in part by Campbell Clinic. Campbell Clinic After Hours, they help treat breaks, sprains, and strains on your schedule. When you or your kids are injured in the evening or on the weekend, skip the hospital and go straight to Campbell Clinic. Campbell Clinic offers the top team of local orthopedic doctors, and they spare you the long wait at the ER. No appointment needed, and they quite literally wrote the book on orthopedic medicine at the forefront, at the cutting edge worldwide on orthopedic medicine right here at home, Campbell Clinic. Find out more at campbellclinic.com. Sports injuries, work injuries, broken bones, sprained ankles, Campbell Clinic, they treat that. All kind of orthopedic injuries. They treat adults, they treat children, they treat seniors, moms, your family. You will not receive better orthopedic anywhere else in the world than right here at home. Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., the After Hours Clinic. It's available. Also available on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Germantown location. Find out more at campbellclinic.com, and we're getting closer and closer to going inside Hoop City every Thursday afternoon, brought to you by Campbell Clinic. If you suffer a knee injury, seriously sprain your shoulder, or perhaps you break your finger, it's 5:30 in the afternoon, where do you go? You go to Campbell Clinic After Hours. For more information, go to campbellclinic.com. Who's your number one team in SEC? If we had to do those rankings, you had to rank number one, who would it be right now after a month of football?
I think it'd have to be Georgia for me right now, just due to the fact that the schedule that they've played, I think, is a little bit better than Alabama. Alabama would be a very, very close second, and then round out my top three, probably be LSU.
Oh, no Auburn in your top three?
No.
All right, let's look at that Georgia schedule. So who is the red letter win? Well, that's easy. It's Notre Dame, right? Notre Dame, their best win?
Yes.
Who's the second best? Vandy, Murray State, or ASU? Arkansas State? Vandy? On the road?
Sure.
Okay. Auburn, they have defeated Oregon, Tulane, Kent State, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State. Oregon easily the best win?
Yes, Oregon easily.
What's second best? Tulane or State?
Maybe Tulane, maybe A&M.
Beat A&M 28-20 on the road.
I'll say A&M because it was on the road. It was in College Station.
I will too. I think Auburn is if I had to rank them right now, I think I would rank Auburn 1. They do have that Iron Bowl at the end of the year, but what about this schedule? Starting this week on the road in Gainesville against Florida, then next week on the road in Baton Rouge. Try that on for size. If people out there, and I know there are plenty, at SEC, man, y'all just keep telling yourself you're that good. Try that on back-to-back weeks. Try going to Gainesville and going to Baton Rouge, and then going to I'm sorry. Auburn doesn't. I misread that. That's Florida. Florida does that. They go to Auburn and LSU. Auburn, they play Florida and then have open date and go to Fayetteville, not so tough, and then they go to Baton Rouge. But Florida starts this week with Auburn and then LSU, and then they go to Columbia. That is really, really, really tough for anybody, and especially with somebody with a backup quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks already played this year in the SEC. Arkansas has started too. Florida's had to start too. Kentucky's had to start too. Ole Miss and State, they've had to start two different quarterbacks. South Carolina had to go to two. Tennessee hadn't, but they will probably at some point. Vanderbilt hadn't. A&M hadn't had to do that. A lot of guys in the lineup card at quarterback so far this year, and that's just a month in the books.
And it's not just been only in the SEC. It's been all around college football and all around the NFL. Is it more than what is normal at this point of the season throughout college football and throughout all of football, or are we just noticing it right now?
I think there's a little bit of both. I think it's a little more, but we sure notice it, and I think it is juxtaposed. It is shrouded in all the rule stuff from not to get hurt, and it's just no way to ever have that 100% safe. I mean, we're going to have injuries. I don't think there's been an injury yet from anything that would be deemed dirty.
No, I haven't. In all of football, I haven't seen one quarterback go down where you're like, all right, he was trying to hurt him. He was trying to knock him out of the game. I mean, especially in the NFL, a lot of them have been no contact plays. I mean, Drew Brees just getting his hand hit at the line. Nothing to what you'd ever just think of as a dirty play.
Saturday, Nick Starkel injured. The elbow went the direction your elbow's not supposed to go after a really ugly interception down on the goal line, and then he tries to stick his nose in there, and the elbow goes the wrong direction. This week in the SEC, they're not going to beat them straight up. Utah State getting a boatload of points going down to Baton Rouge. I think that's a good Utah State team. 26-point underdog for LSU. Auburn a 3-point favorite. Auburn a 3-point favorite on the road at Florida. Mizzou a 24-point favorite at home against Troy. Georgia 24.5-point favorite over Tennessee in Knoxville. And Saturday night in Oxford, Ole Miss a 7-point favorite over Vanderbilt for the 6:30 game Saturday night in Oxford. In the American this week, the Vegas lines opening the week, East Carolina underdog at home, 11.5-point underdog to Temple, the Tigers' opponent next week. UCF a 4.5-point favorite over Cincinnati at Cincinnati. I thought UCF got the benefit of a little bit being UCF jumping back in the poll this week as quickly as they did. UConn 11-point underdog at home against South Florida. Tulane a 3-point favorite on the road against the Army. The Navy and the Air Force Academy, Navy at home 2.5-point underdog to Air Force. And Memphis a 16.5-point favorite now Saturday at 2:45, a game you can see on ESPNU against Lou Monroe. And Saturday night, number 24 ranked SMU 13-point favorite at home against Tulsa that beat San Jose State, that beat Arkansas. And you look at Georgia State that handled Tennessee and a couple of teams that they lost to. The bottom of the SEC, all right, we talked about one. Who's 14?
Just so I make sure I have everybody in front of me here real quick.
It's Arkansas, isn't it?
Yes, even after I gave them the medal trying to be nice. No, it's Tennessee. It's Tennessee for sure.
Okay, so Tennessee 14.
Without a doubt, it's Tennessee.
Arkansas 13 or 12. Vandy would be the other one?
I'll put Arkansas at 12. I'll put Vandy at 13.
Then Ole Miss 11?
Ole Miss 11 or 10. Probably get South Carolina in there.
South Carolina with wins. They got a league win over Kentucky. That's something Ole Miss. Well, Ole Miss got a league win over Arkansas, so I think their league win is better than the Ole Miss league win. And South Carolina narrowly lost 24-20 to North Carolina opening day. Yeah, I'm not going to get in too big a fight over
10 or 11.
10 or 11, are you?
No, I think it's about equal.
67129 at the First Bank text line. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Family Leisure has the world's biggest spa sale going on now. Over 50 spas in stock and ready to sell. $8,000 spas now just $44.99. 4-person spas starting at $24.99. Swim spas from $89.99. Huge discounts on all spas. Get the lowest prices of the year with special financing available. It's the world's biggest spa sale happening now at Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. School's back in. Are the kids going to be running out of hot water every morning? Or worse, are you going to be out of hot water by the time they leave? It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. At Conway Services, we're making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with a new tankless water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. See why I say now's the perfect time? Call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater, we'll come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. If you're in need of a roof, there's no better place to start than Five Ash Roofing. No matter what your situation is, we have you covered. We can walk you through the insurance process without committing fraud like many of my competitors. You'd be surprised how many times salesmen and contractors will manufacture storm damage just so they can get a sale. We do residential, multifamily, and commercial work. We're certified in every form of roofing we offer. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingle, and we don't charge extra for that. And to my knowledge, there's no other roofing company in Memphis offering that level of security. And if that's not enough, we offer a best price guarantee. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave will be back with us tomorrow tonight on Monday Night Football. It's the Steelers and the Bengals. Can you believe the Steelers on that end of the field with the Bengals winless? Same as the Bengals tonight. You can hear all the action right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 from Westwood One. I love the Monday night interview that Jim Gray does. It sounds pretty close to Live with Tom Brady. They got to have a few minutes lag time just in case, but it's not this afternoon. I think it's at minimum like 7:30 Central Time. Or do you think it's live?
I don't think it's live. I think it's pre-recorded. I think they'd probably do it like an hour or so before.
It does, but okay, maybe an hour, but it doesn't sound like it was done at 10:30 this morning.
No, it wasn't done yesterday or over the weekend or anything like that.
I think I'm certain I've heard Tom Brady even refer to some plays in the first half of the Monday night game. And then always a special treat when the Patriots play. You know, he has pinch hit in that interview with Jim Gray on Westwood when Tom Brady's playing.
Who does he have?
Mrs. Tom Brady. Giselle.
I'd listen to Giselle.
And it's good radio. We'll get to our Steelers and Bengals big four, the top four players all time. Mount Rushmore, if you want to, of the Steelers and Bengals. Steelers, boy, it could be a bunch. They could have people all over a mountain range for that. And players only, so we can't go the Rooneys. And for the Bengals, we can't go Paul Brown. And for the Steelers, we can't go Chuck Noll. Just players only for Steelers and Bengals. And Dave was right with George Hallis as a Bear, because he did play. Hey, everybody, if it's a Chevy, any new Chevy, Olive Branch is where you need to go. The new 2020 Silverados and Blazers, they are at All-Star Chevy, ready for you to drive. Traverse, Equinox, Impala, best new All-Star Chevy lineup maybe ever. And most have 0 for 72 financing. Only at All-Star, and only All-Star, they have the ABCs. A, the All-Star Challenge. Take any written offer from any Mid-South auto dealer to All-Star Chevy. If you can get a better deal, new or pre-owned, they'll buy you a tank of gas. B, the best buying experience, period. No wasting your time. They make it so very easy, and they're so nice. And C, the customer care. You're all in. Loaner cars, free oil changes. It's the All-Star family that you become a part of. It's not South Haven. It's not the Pike. It's not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet or go to allstarautogroup.com. It is must-win tonight for the Steelers, isn't it?
Yes, if you have any chance of salvaging this season, of trying to turn it around, especially in the division where you have Browns at 2-2, Ravens at 2-2, you've got to keep from being in the bottom 12. You got to make sure Cincy has that fourth place spot on lock and key.
I had them as my Super Bowl team from the AFC. Drew, what happened?
Ben Roethlisberger went down. That's what happened.
Is that all of it? I know.
No, I don't think it's all. It's a big contributor factor of it, but I think this whole addition by subtraction thing got blown way out of proportion.
I wanted to set it up with Roger Goodell's dream, the two big markets, the two big names, and I blew it. But I got my Cowboys in there.
Do I need to read off the text you sent me yesterday?
I've got other teams too, but even with that loss last night, you guys and you and Dave both did, and I think Bo Marchant did as well. Did you have Saints winning it?
I had Saints over Houston, which I'm now worried about Houston.
Well, what a proud 2 weeks for the Saints to do this without Drew Brees, and he's sitting over there healing. Give credit to Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know that he did that much yesterday, but he didn't do anything to get them beat. And they're kind of riding a defense. That front office, they've built a full team.
They really have, and the defense has played phenomenal the last 2 weeks with Drew Brees out. And give all the credit in the world to Teddy Bridgewater. Why he might not have done anything spectacular last night or in the last 2 weeks to really win you the game, as a backup quarterback, especially just knowing that your time is limited, knowing that you've only got 5-6 weeks to really show what you can do, because regardless of how well you do, as soon as Drew Brees is cleared by the doctors, he's going in the game. Teddy Bridgewater knows that. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
and
he should.
The thing that you want out of a backup is to not lose a game, and Teddy Bridgewater has proven that he's not going to lose you the game.
Pretty efficient, nothing too spectacular, but pretty efficient, and looks pretty good for the Saints. And to get those two wins, that was just stealing. And the Saints were right there at the end. They had the disputed call, the tough call, the bad call, or they would have gone on to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they would have defeated New England. It was pretty ugly Super Bowl Sunday, 13-3. They could have at least been in that kind of game.
I think they could have at least scored a touchdown. I think Drew Brees in that Saints offense would have at least done something to put more points on the board. I don't know if they would have won, but it would have been a much more interesting game, I think.
So the big four for these two teams tonight, I got a feeling for sure on one and maybe the other one, this could have a generational aspect to it, as the Steelers, the team of the 70s. And that's when they – Drew, you can't believe it. I wish Dave were here and he could confirm this, because his growing up years when the Steelers were in the NFL before the merger and they took the hit. Well, they didn't take a hit. They went to the AFC, but they were the gimme win. When the Steelers came to town, that was get well Sunday. That was That was one, home or road. That was one to get better. They were so bad. Then they had the historic hire of Chuck Noll, and what they did in the scouting department. You roll through their drafts in the early 70s and the players that they plucked from unknown schools and unknown conferences, and a lot of historical black college university players, player like Mel Blount, the bowl pick to take Terry Bradshaw out of Louisiana Tech. The bowl play by Terry Bradshaw to go to Louisiana Tech. And the Steelers got a lot of players like that, just back-to-back accumulation of drafts, and it built the team of the 70s. So with the generational thing, I fear you start first.
Well, do you want my all-time, or do you want what I think can be a Mount Rushmore of just my time here on Earth?
Drew, it is your pick.
Well, I'm gonna
no parameters.
I'll give you both.
What was the thing I said to you the first day you started on this show?
I don't remember.
Oh, come on.
That was a long time ago. It's like 3 years ago.
I said you don't have to raise your hand to speak.
Oh, that's true.
And you can say what you want to.
That is true. All right, I'm gonna do it just because I think there are so many different guys. Like you said, there's a plethora of guys that you could literally make a whole mountain range out of Steelers players
really
alone. So I'm gonna do my little Mount Rushmore, my top 4 of guys that I've seen in my lifetime, and I don't think you can really argue with it.
And I promise not to pick at it. I promise.
All right. Well, I'm in no particular order. I think the 4 that you'd have to go with, and especially in the last 20 years, would have to be Ben Roethlisberger, Troy Polamalu, Hines Ward, and Jerome Bettis. I think you can honestly make an argument for that being the 4 best of all time.
That list is crazy. I promise not to pick it. No, that's your list. I really debated Hines Ward on my list. That of those 4, he's the only one. Maybe the next time they're on Monday night, when they are again, we will go to the next 4. Next week we do that with the Browns. So we have to come up with, I think Dave and I differed on 1. Well, Paul Warfield, you had a couple. Joe Thomas would be easy. Next list for me.
Well, real quick, let me ask you this question, and it's something I started wondering literally 10 minutes after we finished doing the top 10 for the Browns. So when we do the Colts, the Baltimore Colts will be in their history, correct?
Whole time.
The whole time.
Baltimore, Indianapolis.
So how come the Browns history counts for the Browns, but the Browns history doesn't count for the Ravens, even though that it's technically the same franchise?
The league rightly protected the Browns' history when they exited Cleveland for Baltimore. They did. And the city of Cleveland wanted a complete divorce from Art Modell. Never show your face again. So I can see why they did that. So when we get to the Titans, do we encompass Houston?
I think we do. But when we get to the Ravens, do we only go from
Ravens.
From 95, 96 when you started? Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
All right, my big 4 for the Steelers. I did it. I took a powder here and went alphabetical order. Is that allowed?
I'll allow it.
Terry Bradshaw, Joe Green, Franco Harris, and Jack Lambert. You just think about those names in the history of the NFL. It made this modern NFL. Those 70 Steelers, those playoff runs, either running into Oakland or Miami in the playoffs, then Super Bowl Sunday. I know Joe Namath gets a lot of credit for putting the Super in Super Bowl Sunday. I think it was the Steelers-Cowboys matchups in the 70s. I mean, it was appointment. You got to be watching those games, and the Steelers always had the advantage in those 70s Super Bowls. You for the Bengals.
All right, me for the Bengals. In no particular order. Well, I'll do particular order. I got at the bottom Chad Ochocinco Johnson. I'll include both names regardless of whether you want to see it.
This is where I don't say your list is crazy, because I told you I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Number 3, Boomer Esiason. 2, Ken Anderson. And 1, the only Bengal in the Hall of Fame, Anthony Munoz. Munoz.
Hard to believe he's the only one.
I couldn't see the O that I wrote.
And they only have 1 number retired, and that's a former Tennessee Volunteer, a center, Bob Johnson. Bob had a good career with the the Bengals didn't need to be the only one in the history of the Bengals with a retired number. Alphabetically, I go Kenny Anderson, Boomer Esiason. Both of them led the Bengals to Super Bowl appearances, 2 tough luck losses, both Anderson and Esiason losing to the 49ers. Ken Anderson losing to the 49ers on a frigid Super Bowl Sunday in Detroit. Dave Wolo was there covering that game, Joe Montana's first Super Bowl win. Boomer Esiason, a game in Miami against the Dolphins. Anthony Munoz and Ken Riley, defensive back from Florida A&M. I was very close to going Ickey Woods in the shuffle, but went number 13, Ken Riley. I thought about Chris Collinsworth.
But no even blink of the eye thought passing through your head of Chad Ochocinco?
None. I might have gone Isaac Curtis before Ocho.
I mean, the man was the best wide receiver of his time.
And it's not even how you say 85. That's the 8.
You're right,
it's
not. But
it is not how you say 85. So I went Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason, Anthony Munoz, Ken Riley. Two different Bengals coaches to get to the Super Bowl, and Paul Brown was not one of them. Forrest Gregg in the first one and Sam Weiss in the second one. All-time coach of the Steelers, Chuck Noll. Yeah, that's easy.
That's easy.
But I considered Hines Ward over Jack Lambert, but I ended up going with Jack Lambert. Bradshaw Green, Harris Lambert for me on the Steelers, Anderson and Esiason, Munoz for me on the Bengals. Williams Equipment Supply, your homegrown, locally owned, #1 compact construction equipment dealer in the Mid-South. They've represented the Bobcat Company for over 50 years. Bobcat Company is the industry leader in compact loaders and excavators. Support American manufacturing. Buy, lease, or rent Bobcat equipment. Williams Equipment Supply, the largest compact equipment dealer in the Mid-South with 9 great locations, whether you do plumbing, utilities, swimming pools, concrete breaking, or foundations. Let Williams Equipment supply the best Bobcat equipment excavator for you. Experience the pride Bobcat owners have of owning the #1 brand of compact equipment. Whether you buy, lease, or rent Williams Equipment, they have the equipment you need at a price you can afford. For a demonstration or more details in Memphis, call the Memphis area Bobcat specialist. That's Sam Watson. Sam's cell is 901-326-6429. And in North Mississippi, the Bobcat specialist is Cody Bumpus. Call him in North Mississippi at 901-508-8739. Williams Equipment Supply, the largest compact equipment dealer in the Mid-South with 9 great locations. We come back, we wrap up this Monday with Taco Bell Crunch Time. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail. So you get the haircut you want, and of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
For the best lineup of quality, fuel-efficient, and fun-to-drive vehicles, get to Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan. Over 1,000 new certified and pre-owned vehicles in one great location. Catch the savings now during our huge model year-end sales event. Score an amazing deal at Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan and get to the game in style at Germantown Road and Highway 64. Family owned since 1981.
It's car buying time now during Wolf Chase Nissan Summer Savings Event. More cars, better offers, and bigger savings than ever before. Model year-end savings on every new 2019 Nissan in stock. Financing as low as 0% up to 60 months on select models for qualified buyers with approved credit through NMAC. Hurry in for exciting summer savings. And remember, if your car says Wolf Chase Nissan, you got the best deal. WolfChaseNissan.com.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
Introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park. Top Tracer gathers data such as distance, carry, ball speed, and more. Compete against friends in a points game, long drive, and virtual golf at courses such as Pebble Beach and St. Andrews. Golf and Games Family Park is a great setting for group and company outings, golf lessons, or individual practice. Experience fun, friends, family, and introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park, 5484 Summer Avenue.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 66, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week, joining John and I in studio will be former Tiger offensive lineman and Sports 56's very own Gabe Kuhn, along with some surprise special guests as we recap Louisiana Monroe and get you ready for Temple.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Got a TJ Hushmanzada at the text line. How about that? And an AJ Green at the text line at 67129. If you want to go recent.
I'll put AJ in there. Do we do the Bengals again this year?
I don't know.
I hope not.
I hadn't looked that far down.
I hope I don't have to watch
Bengals
football again on Monday night.
We have Monday Night Football right here for you on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 from Westwood 1. That's coming up later tonight. Tomorrow we will have Dave will be back, and we'll have a busy Tuesday. We've had a fun day today. I want to tell a special thanks to David Cobb. It joins us every Monday. John Thompson as well. And our guest, Cecil Hurt from the Tuscaloosa News. We got anything else? We're going to miss baseball tonight, aren't we?
We are. I was so confident on Thursday when you asked me if there was going to be a game 163. I was so
multiple.
Confident. I said multiple.
We didn't get a lot right this weekend. We're going to go with football picks, too.
Apparently I'm not as good as this thing as I thought I was.
You and Dave are tied. He's ahead of you on some straight-up winners. Y'all both are 18 and 30 on the year. I'm 21 and 27. So
none of us are that good.
No, it's bad.
But you're better than me and Dave.
Barely. Three better.
Three up in the win column is 3 up in the win column.
Kinda. Oh, it's been some bad picking for all of us this year, and it's been across the board. It's been on the Tigers. It's been on the SEC. It's been straight up. It's been favorite. It's been underdogs. Bruce Marshall didn't have a great college weekend. I know on Friday his as close as he gets to the lock of all time. He loved that under in the Giants game, and it went way under. He loved that, and he's had a pretty good handle on the Giants all year. For the year, Bruce is having a great year. He did not have a good college weekend, but he did have a good NFL weekend this past weekend. Let's wrap it up with Crunch Time.
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live
It's crunch time.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He throw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. They do, and thank you very much, Taco Bell. What'd you learn today, Drew?
Learned today that over the weekend, Rutgers fired their head coach, Chris Ash. And what I did learn is that he finished his tenure at Rutgers with an 8-32 record. How the heck did he win 8 games at that dumpster fire in New Jersey?
Ooh, no kidding.
You should get a medal for winning 8, not fired.
The Schiano rumors are out there. Heard Saturday that Alabama intern Butch Jones may be very much interested in that. You know, he coached there as a young GA, and Jarrett Garantano's dad was on the team. That's how the relationship with the Garantano started. But you're right. To win 8 games there, he should have gotten an extension.
Should have gotten a raise. I mean, to want that job, to really actually call Rutgers and say, I want the job, that's just wanting a job to have a job.
With the early signing period, you're going to see more and more in-season firings with people trying to get a jump. I don't know Rutgers is trying to get a jump on, but with people trying to get a jump on the coaching market, you're going to see more of that. I learned the last 2 weeks is what gives me pause about Mike Leach. When it's going well, everything is a night at the Chuckle Hut. Everybody's laughing. I mean, it's just fun being had by all. Then you give up 105 and he becomes a little more idiosyncratic, does he not? His behavior can get questionable when things don't go well. He crushed his team after this loss last Saturday night. What is it you could have done without today, Drew?
Could have done without today. Jeremy Pruitt saying he won't name a starting quarterback because, quote, we're not going to give Georgia a scouting report on what we're going to do this week. Come on, man. You really think they're that worried about who you got at quarterback? You think that's going to change the outcome? You crazy, Coach Pruitt.
Yeah, I could have done with heavy underdogs. I could have done without. It looked terrible, and I was scared to death. And I mean this. I was scared that Bully, the mascot, the dog, was injured badly Saturday night. It looked like it had been crushed, like the legs were going to go out the other direction all 4 ways. But like any good dog, he bounced right up. He's going to be fine, and you can't keep a good dog down. And he was checked out by that great vet school, and he was back for the second half. But it looked bad when he first got hurt. I love all the live mascots, and I love all the dressed-up mascots.
Do we need the live mascots on the road, though? Shouldn't that just be an at-home thing? I mean, I don't think anybody's letting Tom 3 come to any away games anytime soon.
Well, they're not going to let him break out of that cage. If he does, he'd shake up the crowd. Where do you keep an eye on tonight?
Light load with no baseball until tomorrow,
really
so I'm keeping a close eye on Monday Night Football and Episode 2 of Bluff City Law tonight at 9.
Are you into the Bluff City Law?
Oh, I like it.
My oldest nephew had a cameo in the Bluff City Law.
I just like annoying my fiance saying 50 times throughout the show, I've been there. Hey, I know that place. I eat there, too.
I'm not saying I'm not going to watch, but up against Monday Night Football, it's going to be difficult for me to watch. I hope they have an extended run and hope it does well for a lot of people around town. I don't think it hurts a thing, so I hope it does well. Just got to do it without me watching. You're right about the baseball. None tonight, but on the Baseball Network, they will be breaking down the playoffs. Also, we'll see the fallout from Grizzlies Media Day and other NBA Media Days. 0-3 Bengals and 0-3 Steelers. Hard to believe it's come to this for the Steelers. Andy Dalton against Mason Rudolph. If Andy Dalton gets hurt, it'd be Ryan Finley for the Bengals. If Rudolph goes down, it'll be Devlin Hodges from Samford in at quarterback for the Steelers. Terry Bradshaw could get playing time if he were there. I bet they missed Josh Dobbs, and probably dumb on their part to trade him. Dave will be back tomorrow. We'll all be here tomorrow. For Drew, for Dave in his absence, I'm Brett. Everybody have a great Monday night.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
Okay, so what comes in a rib box?
We'll put whatever you want in the rib box. We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen.
How do you guys ship these ribs?
We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together. So the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Calling all duck hunters, it's Bass Pro Shops Flocktoberfest, October 12th and 13th at the Memphis Pyramid, with huge savings on the gear you need, free seminars by expert duck hunters, national and regional calling contests, the Super Retriever Series dog jumping contest, plus a cornhole tournament, prize drawings, free kids activities, and music by recording artist Stephanie Quayle. Visit BassPro.com/Flocktoberfest for details.
Yeah, so Aiden's coffee spot is really undope. They asked what they can get me, and I'm like, the code to the bathroom. Stop trying to sell me something.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Also, the Wi-Fi password was too hard to spell, and I can, totally spell stuff.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
They didn't have any cups out for the free cream, so I just drank it out of the pitcher.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
One thing I've learned over the years, no matter what you're buying, the smart thing to do is to buy from someone who sells quality products, delivers great personal service, and knows their business inside and out because they have over 2 decades of experience. When you're talking about insurance, it's more important than ever because you're counting on your agent to come up with a policy that's exactly what you need from a company you can absolutely depend on, be there when you need him, and save money all at the same time. When you deal with William Glass or any of their staff at the Glass Group, you're not only in good hands, you'll find out that you can put the money a lot of insurance companies spend on advertising on the World Series or college football or basketball in your pocket while you enjoy first-rate coverage on your home, auto, and business with things like rate lock on your car. So you're not canceled for a wreck or a speeding ticket. Guaranteed replacement on your home and contents, earthquake coverage, and outstanding rates for business on workman's comp, commercial auto, and any other business need you may have. Worried about mayhem? Call William Glass at the Glass Group, 843-1190. They'll handle it for you. 843-1190. When it comes to your pet, you want nothing but the best in boarding, daycare, and grooming, and we say thank you, Memphis, for voting Barks and Recreation #1 in Best Pet Grooming in this year's Memphis Most competition. We're also #1 in boarding with indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please while they're being cared for by the best staff in Memphis, one that includes overnight staffing to ensure the safety and happiness of your pet 24 hours a day. And we're #1 in daycare with indoor and outdoor play areas, individual and group playtime, 4 walks a day, and small play groups to make sure that your pet gets the individual attention they deserve. Make your reservations now at barksdaycare.com or call us at 901-509-0909. Barks and Recreation, 965 Ruddock Cove, between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Did you know that paying a traffic ticket is an admission of guilt? It is, and it could result in higher insurance rates and add points to your driving record, which could result in your license being suspended or even revoked. It's amazing how simple things can turn into major problems and it's why no matter what legal problem you may have, you need to know exactly what your rights and your options are. You need an attorney who is only interested in one thing, fighting for you, and I've got one for you, Chelsea Rainey. You can call her for a free, convenient phone consultation at 901-647-4861. Traffic tickets, driving while impaired, drug charges, misdemeanors, divorce. If you live in the metro Memphis area and you've been accused of a crime, you need to speak to attorney Chelsea Rainey about your options and your legal rights. Chelsea Rainey is dedicated to advocating and protecting your rights. Your initial consultation is free, and attorney Chelsea Rainey is always on call, always available at 647-4861. That's 647-4861. There are 2 or 3 things in life that you simply can't live without if you live in the Mid-South. One of them is air conditioning. We take it for granted, never think about it, till it stops working, and then when you're miserable, you make the mistake of calling the big name company, and you pay way more than you should, or you call somebody who shouldn't be working on your lawnmower, much less something as important and complex as your HVAC system. When you need air conditioning or heating help, make the smart call to Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning at 494-9040. Brooke Dunn takes pride in his work. He'll treat you fairly, he knows his business, and he comes with the complete backing of the old Rain Man as he's about to become my son-in-law. And University of Memphis supporters will undoubtedly remember his grandfather, Coach Al Brown. Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning, 494-9040. That's 494-9040.
You finally found it, the vehicle of your dreams. You know it's got everything you want, you just don't know the price. Until now, shop one-price pre-owned vehicles today at AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Now, every pre-owned vehicle is clearly marked with our lowest price, guaranteed. That means no negotiations, no pressure, just one low price. And every certified AutoNation pre-owned vehicle is inspected in 125 different places, so there's no worries. Plus, your purchase is protected with a money-back guarantee for 5 days or 250 miles, whichever comes first. And as America's largest automotive retailer, you can shop one-price pre-owned vehicles from over 250 stores coast to coast. That's something you can count on. Shop over 20,000 one-price pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation.com or visit AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Drive pink, drive safe, drive now. AutoNation. Certain terms, conditions, and restrictions may apply. See store for complete details.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by Gateway Tire and Service Centers, where there's always one thing you can count on. We go the distance for you. So before you hit the road for a trip across country or just across town, drop by any one of our 12 Memphis area locations. Whether it's tires or auto repair, you can always count on one thing. At Gateway Tire and Service Center, we go the distance for you.
Memphis Sports Radio welcomes you to the following presentation of Southern Sports Report.
The following program contains frank and honest commentary on sports. Listener discretion is advised.